Okay, so today we're diving into something kind of interesting, a different perspective on what it takes to actually, achieve success. We've got this really short, almost like a little nugget of wisdom from Gaia Carmel, a content creator. They dropped this thought on YouTube. I think it was like day 3 of a 90-day challenge they were doing.
Yeah, and what's so cool is that it kind of gets right to the heart of something really fundamental. So, our mission for this deep dive is to unpack that insight, this idea of persistence being so vital and why it's especially important when you're not seeing like those immediate big results.
Absolutely. It really jumped out at me too. Like just that sheer ability to keep going, even when you're not seeing those quick wins, those early signs of success. And, especially when you're trying something new, putting yourself out there, that commitment to the process itself just seems crucial.
Totally. And I think that's where this gets really interesting because we're so wired with those instant results, right? You invest the time, the energy, and when you don't immediately see the payoff, it's so easy to start questioning everything. But this creator's experience, it flips that script a bit.
Right. And that temptation to quit. It's so real. You put something out there and it's like crickets chirping.
Yeah.
And it's easy to feel like, okay, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here. So how did this reflection kind of reframe those moments of doubt, those initial hurdles?
Well, there's this personal anecdote they share about their own podcast. They talked about that early stage where it felt like nobody was listening, like just a handful of views, zero engagement, and they were seriously considering pulling the plug. It makes you think, how many potentially successful things get abandoned right at that point? Ugh, I know that feeling. You put your heart into something and it feels like it just vanishes into thin air. But the key turning point here was the choice they made. Even without any external validation, they decided to just keep producing episodes. Like, okay, let's just see what happens.
And that's where it gets really powerful, because after that period of sustained effort, through the silence, things started to shift. Messages started coming in. Collaboration offers appeared out of the blue. These unexpected opportunities just kind of materialized. It really highlights the cumulative effect of that consistency, even when individual actions don't seem to yield immediate results.
So the takeaway is crystal clear, right? Those positive outcomes weren't just random chance. They happened because of that initial decision to push through that quiet period. It really underscores the sheer power of sticking with something even when you can't see the evidence of success yet. And what's so compelling is that this isn't some abstract, motivational quote. It's rooted in someone's lived experience of trying to build something in a space where instant feedback is almost like the norm. Like you need that foundation before you see the structure.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, this was only day 3 of their 90-day commitment. It really shows how quickly this understanding of persistence, of just keeping at it, emerged as a key factor in their journey.
And bringing it back to our listeners, what's really significant is that initial silence or that lack of obvious progress doesn't automatically equal failure. It might just be a phase that demands a bit more dedication, a bit more, just plain effort.
So to wrap up this deep dive, we've seen how sticking with a new habit or a project you're passionate about, even when you're not seeing immediate results, can lead to those breakthroughs. That early lack of progress isn't necessarily the end. It might just be a signal to dig in and stay committed.
So here's something to chew on. Think about an area in your own life where you're tempted to give up, maybe because you're not seeing the outcomes you were hoping for. What's one small step you could take to push just a little bit further? What unexpected possibilities might emerge from that continued effort?